forged in fire. It is the privilege of lesser men to light the flame.
Welcome to the Double Bow Show. We talk about we know. Some is scripted, some off the cuff.
And we talk about movies and stuff. Hi guys, and welcome to our Doctor Who 50th anniversary review. I'm Jamie Slosthwaite, and this is
Super Geek.
Ben Bernard Smith. He's dressed as Matt Smith at the moment.
Ish.
I don't think he wears a shirt, but he'd look
No.
pretty cool wearing that shirt, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've seen the 50th. We haven't been able to talk to each other really at all about the
No,
50th.
and it's been
until
very
this morning.
difficult.
Yeah, luckily Ben was away this weekend, so
We didn't watch it together.
no, we didn't watch it together, but we have just watched it for a second time, just now. Oh yeah, what were our texts that we sent each
So
other?
yours that you sent to me was Gallifrey,
I just sent Gallifrey exclamation mark.
and I sent to you.
Beautiful exclamation mark, I
Would
think.
you like to just explain to me why Gallifrey? I know it's obvious, but
Well, it's obvious, but yeah, okay. Before we watch this, make sure you've already seen it, otherwise you're going to spoil it.
Massive spoilers.
But it's because Gallifrey has survived, and it is somewhere, and the Doctor has to go and find it. So I was just like, Gallifrey is still out there, so I was just like, Gallifrey. Why did you put beautiful?
It was when the three doctors had their hand on the moment, and Clara was with tears in her eyes,
Yeah.
looking at the three of them, and I literally felt emotion stirring up within me.
Yeah, I was
at
like,
that
oh.
bit, because I was just like,
And it kept cutting to the shots of the kids and stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
like, can you imagine if that was a button and it was Earth?
yeah.
You think of all those history, all those people, all the animals and everything.
It was just an emotional moment
Powerful
because they
stuff.
were joining him, this one they despised, this doctor this not doctor they despised, they were joining with him. And Clara was looking on with like tears, and I just thought, wow. The word came into my head, beautiful, and I was like, that's what I'm going to send to you.
So the bits I really, really liked. I actually really liked the first point that I've written down was the moment and how it was Rose, because it got her back, which was one of the fan favourites of recent companions, and it's good to get her back because she still looks exactly the same, pretty much. So she's obviously they're not going to get one of the older companions because they look different now. And it was really good. I just loved that whole idea how the Doomsday device was the thing that actually saved everything in the end and changed the mind of the Doctor.
Yeah.
It basically was
That's
designed
true.
to destroy everything, and he basically went, no, don't, save everybody. And that's what the device did, and I really like that. That was one of the points.
I think I agree with. I agree. I like how the Doomsday device was almost the thing that sort of saved it, the consciousness, Bad Wolf Girl.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure whether I liked the fact that it was Rose.
Really?
It almost felt as though it was like the fact that it was her was very underused. Like it could have literally been anybody. And like I was saying, I kind of hoped that they'd bring back a classic companion of one or two. Like, and they could have.
They could have done
They
this.
could have had Ace. They could have had Susan. They could have had. I mean, in the Doctor Who live after, they had all these companions, and I mean, I think she was good. Like when she was sort of like, more.
Yeah, no, she's
playing
good.
with it and stuff. She was great. She's really, really, really good at.
If they were going to pick somebody else, I think they should have picked Susan.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely picked
And
Susan.
then mentioned like how she died in the early days of the Time War or something like that.
She should have been in it. I think Susan should have
Yeah, I
been in it.
do think because she's alive and she's not. Well, I don't know how old she is now.
She doesn't even look that old.
No, she doesn't. But I think she
She actually looks a lot younger than you would think she
Okay.
is.
That was okay. So that's your good point. The momenty thingy. I think it was good that it was multi-layered. Like if they just spent all the time in the Time War, I think it would have started to get a bit boring. Because the problem is feature-length episodes rarely work because you get so used to having a structure of a certain time limit, and when you try to extend it, the same.
Yeah, it's almost like they just stretch it out.
Yeah, and it doesn't work. But it was almost like, as I said, they got 2 episodes and they kind of spliced them together. But that worked, and there was a point to that, which I thought was really good.
Because they reflected each other.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I think Stephen Moffat's incredibly clever, because some people could say, I mean, I when I finished watching it yesterday, I was thinking to myself, I'm not sure if I like the fact that Gallifrey wasn't destroyed anymore, because the Doctor of recent years has come to be defined by the fact that he was the one who destroyed Gallifrey, and that made him vulnerable. It made him hard-hearted. It made him it gave him this identity which was incredibly appealing of this broken man who killed his entire people, and that's an incredible thing. But the problem is, especially with something like Doctor Who, you need to keep changing it. You need to keep refreshing what it is as a show, or it will lose its appeal. And I think if it went into Capaldi's tenure as the Doctor, with things still the same, to begin with it'd be fine, but after a while I think people would start getting bored again, whereas now, as you said, it's got a completely new direction.
Hopefully he'll be less moody about it all, because he got so down about the Time War and was on his own all the time. It got a bit tiresome in a way. It was just constantly like, oh, on the low, depressing, I've killed everyone. Now he's going to be like, yes, I'm going to find them, they're out there somewhere. Positive, it's a bit more positive.
Yeah.
My next point was Tom Baker.
Yes.
Was at the very, very end.
Now, Jamie,
I have to explain this.
can you? Because okay, let me explain what I kind of got from it first. So he was there in the episode right at the end. He was the person who owned the painting Gallifrey Falls No More, and he came in to explain to the Doctor how it wasn't two names, Gallifrey Falls and No More. It was Gallifrey Falls No More, and they were talking about. He was saying, Matt Smith was like, I never forget a face, and Tom Baker was like, if I were you or if you were me, like jokey, and then they sort of, I would do this, blah, blah, blah. And then he just sort of trundled off, and I was kind of like, I haven't got a clue. Go on.
Right. So basically, I think it's a mixture of things. It was just a bit of fun.
Yeah.
It was just to have him in, and it was funny. And sometimes I don't like things where they're just stuck in randomly, just because it's like, oh look, it's Tom Baker. He's like one of the fan favourites. But it was not. I just loved him when he was sat there and he's like, I'd love to run this art gallery sometime. And he's just like, you just might. And then it was just like, oh, that voice.
I knew it was Tom Baker.
I know.
Even before he appeared, they said
bellows,
the curator. I was like, it's going to be Tom.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be one of the Doctors. I thought it might have been Peter. I don't know why. Peter Capaldi. I don't know why I thought it was going to be him. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, Tom Baker was there. He basically says, you're going to have many faces. I can't really remember exactly what he says. But he says
start seeing.
You might revisit some of the old favourites. So to me, that suggests that was the Doctor in the future who's just gone back into Tom Baker and he's retired and he just runs the gallery now. He's just an old man going around. Because that's what he basically says in a very wishy-washy kind of way. He basically says you could be. But then he starts doing the who knows, and all this kind of stuff. But I from what I gathered, that was meant to be the Doctor in the future. And he just basically turns himself into Tom Baker again because it's his favourite.
Expectations. A classic Doctor. Tom Baker. Ding. Classic props. Well, we already knew the scarf was in there. Apart from that, there wasn't really anything else, I don't think.
Oh, there must have been. I think there were little bits. Well, there was that room.
Oh yeah, of course. There was that room in Unit.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'd probably.
There was quite a lot of stuff in that. I even saw, David Tennant and Rose. When she got sucked away. The last episode she was in, and the rift opened up, and all the Daleks and Cybermen were getting sucked in, and they were holding on to them black things. One of them was in the Unit headquarters. I saw it.
Oh, really? Alright, there we go.
So there was all sorts of stuff in there.
It wasn't a classic prop, but I'm assuming there's a big cliffhanger. Gallifrey's back, so
yeah.
And then lastly, regeneration from War to Night. We kind of got that. We got that as best as we could. Eccleston, and then so just do my hopes.
Yeah, go on, you go through it now.
Hopes. Lots of Time War. Yes. Lots of time. Then classic companion. No.
Okay. Well, we'll have to be quick. One of my things was see the Time War and the people that live there. We got that.
Yeah,
like we just said.
The children running around.
We saw children, we saw families, and it was actually on the streets. You could see lampposts, and there was even a bench that I saw at one point. So I was just like, yes, they're the actual people, and I really like that. Reference to other enemies from Doctor Who. There was a Cyberman helmet.
Yeah.
So I'll say yeah. I was happy with it. And I said one of my other points was go to the beginning. Well, it started at the beginning.
Yeah.
It started.
Maybe not in the way that you expected, but at least that it was
kind of did though.
As good as they could.
And it had the old
do,
intro, which I loved. Then my hopes were the Ninth Doctor regeneration. Kind of. I wanted to see Captain Jack.
He was mentioned.
He was mentioned because they had his wrist time travel device, which was cool. My other hope was see all the Doctors. Yes! We actually saw that one. That was the one that I probably least expected.
Yeah, I know. I watched the episode earlier today, and you said it's not going to happen.
It did actually happen, and they were all there and they all helped, and it was amazing. Anyway, I said 9 out of 10. It's not 10 out of 10 because nothing's perfect.
No. 8.5.
8.5.
So 8.8.
8.8. That was our Doctor Who 50th anniversary review. Alright, I'm Jamie Solstowitz.
I'm Ben Bennett Smith,
And
aka Super Geek.
And we'll see you in a week or two about something.
See you soon.
Gab.
I'm looking for the Doctor.
Well, you've certainly come to the right place.